Hey, it's Todd Duncan. I am so excited about Sales Mastery 2018. We're going to be gathering in San Diego at the Marriott Marquis. The dates are the 10th through the 13th of October, and we are doing a series of Sales Mastery snapshots. And our desired end result is to have you have an opportunity to hear from some of the guys and gals that are going to be on stage at this year's event. And I have the distinct pleasure today to have a dialogue with my dear friend, Tom Ramirez. He and I have known each other for almost 27, 28 years, I believe. It's been awesome to watch Tom's success in the marketplace. Tom, it's great to have you with us today on this Sales Mastery Snapshot.
Thanks, Todd. Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh. I think we go back and that interview we did at the very start of your career, at the very start of the Duncan Group's career, I count that as one of the greatest joys of my life.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. My son was in his crib right there
He
next
was,
to
yeah,
us. Yeah,
the same guy that helped you
it's right
just now.
there. Yes, yes. Now he's, you know,
Yeah,
part of the team.
it's awesome, man. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, you've been a top producer your whole life. You've been able to set records that other people just kind of dream about. You've had some, like we all have. You've had ups, you've had downs, but you have sustained through all of this. And I would like to just, in our time together, to quickly maybe talk about three things that are on my mind about maybe the role that you get to play at Sales Mastery. The theme of your presentation and our dialogue there is the career of a lifetime. And you have no doubt had that. And I think that when you think about doing loans for, a quarter of a century, and here you are today, still looking fresh and young, think about think about what's the one thing over that entire career that maybe you could point to as this is the key to my success. What's that? What is that? What happens in your mind when I say what is that one thing?
There's so many things, Todd. So many things. But I guess the one thing that I would say that that has always been with me is the hustle, the work. Being there, being trying to be there first, being there last, being noticed, making sure that people get to see you, that get to know you. It's not only about the hustle of work, but it's about using the time that you have to the maximum ability that you have with the amount of time that you have. So that's what I say about hustle. I mean, you can hustle all day, work, 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 and still get nothing. But you
Wow.
need to hustle, but you need to be smart about it and what you do. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say. I'll still outwork you. That's what I do. And our team does that. But at the same time, we're smart about it. That's what
Yeah.
that's what I would say if that's the one thing.
So give somebody a sense of what that looks like because I love that and we'll unpack it at Mastery. But working hard is one thing, maximizing every hour is another thing. When you do that, what kind of production does that create for you? Because you run a branch now and you're producing yourself. But what does that look like for you and your team?
So our team right now, we're doing about 20 to 25 million a month. So it's amazing because after the 2008 crash, we had to reinvent ourselves. We had to start all over again. Still keeping in mind of how we got to where we were before the crash, but we ended up starting from a team that we had of 60 people to three. So from those three people, we started building little by little by little, and now we're a team of about 40, 45 people, and we're doing about 25. We're going to be doing close to 30 million this month.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's being able to produce. I got to get my loan a day, Todd. That's what I say. Loan a day. We got to get a loan a day. So we do all our stuff that we have to do to add value to our LOs, to the people that work with us, but we also have to still keep going and getting our loan. So
Yeah.
that's what that's what has made the difference for me,
Yeah.
and I think for our team.
Yeah. So that's cool. Here's another angle I want to take. So, given the fact that you kind of rebirthed your team and took it from three to where you are now, knowing that we have this next generation of LOs and to look at your son who's on your team,
Yeah.
what's besides hustle? what would you say to any LO in America about being new to the industry, and what do they have to do to really understand the possibilities that this industry presents them for everything? I mean, a life fulfilling, rewards and economic rewards, emotional rewards. What's your advice as a mentor to the next generation?
That's a great question. That's a question my son asked me. He goes, Dad, what's this all about? Why should I do it, or what's in it? I've seen what you've done, but things have changed, and I've seen so many good times and some difficult times too. So it's basically going out and still being out there, being seen, being known. But today I'm not going to say it's easier, but it's so much nicer because you can go meet 50 people in one day, right? You can go out there and they can see you. But then you can use social media and 150, 200, 300, they see you, and they see you out there. So it's important for them to see that you're out there hustling, working, doing what you need to do so that, but that other people see it too, so that they see that you're putting in the effort and the time, and they want to work with you. They want to be part of that team, your team, part of that. Yeah. That's what I would tell them. And I tell them to find a mentor, somebody else that they can follow in the office. And if they don't have somebody like that or something, they need to be able to possibly find a group of people that, we have mastermind groups and stuff, something like that where they can join, because they need to learn from people who've done it before and go through files. Maybe there's some files that they don't want to work anymore or see anymore. And one thing that I learned a long time ago is that when we started this business, we were making, I think it was 20 bips per loan, 20 bips back in the day, right? And it didn't matter. Other places were paying more and stuff, but we had the opportunity to be able to, working at a bank, to have people come to us. And it was different back then than what it is today. We got to hunt more today than we ever have. So I would say if you were a millennial, like I told my son, go out there, do what it takes to be seen, post it so more people see that they see what you're doing, right? And then try to find a mentor, somebody or a group of people that you can possibly help, and they can help you so that you can get your traction going.
No, I think it's really solid advice. I mean, this social media world in which we live, and the thought behind, for every 100 loans you might do in a year or two or three as a brand new originator, you've got, behind those 100, you've got another 1,000 people in social circles. And I think the whole game is kind of changing, which is why we called Sales Mastery Game Changers this year, because I think that if you don't have a consumer model that allows you to leverage the relationships you have with buyers that you have served, I think that you're going to have challenging times. And so you bring that out, that in the old days, you'd have to go to 10 offices to try and get any attention at all. And today you can do this from your desk and social on a phone. And even then, I don't think people understand, especially millennials, the power of the referral. I mean, right. To look at a database of consumers that love you, know you, and trust you, how do you leverage that? In the old days, we just had to pick up a phone and just call and call and call and call and call. And today, social media makes that happen. So I think that's great advice. I know that, like myself, anybody that guns for being a top producer, I mean, you have risk, right? There's always going to be risk when you build. There's always going to be risk when you try to grow. I think a lot of people miss the nuggets of learning when they look at mistakes, when they look at potentially failures and what's the good thing about a failure. If you were to take this $2 billion plus career that you've had, and you were to truncate it down to a mistake or two that you would tell people to just look out for, don't go through this, because I went through it and it was hard and I don't want you to go through it, what would you share?
I would, for sure, and that's a great question, Todd. That's a great question. For sure, keep your boots on the ground. Keep your boots on the ground. You got to still do what you've learned, what got you successful, keep doing it. Because what happens is when you become successful, you start getting unfocused, right? And you get other interests, or sometimes you get promoted, which is a wonderful thing. You get promoted from an LO to a branch manager to an area manager to a regional manager, and then you forget what got you where you're at, right? So you lose touch with what's going on. Get this, in 2008, right around there, I remember calling a top LO saying, "Are you feeling what's going on?" You know, it was actually before 2008. And I remember him telling me, "Yeah," he goes, "I don't understand." I said, "When was the last time you took a 1003? When was the last time you took a 1003?" And the phone was silent for a while, and he goes, "I can't remember." He goes, "Tom, I can't remember." And I said, "You know what? I can't either." I said, "We got to get back. We got to get back." So if you want that advice for me, that's what I would tell you, the two things. You know, keep your feet on the ground, keep going, always remember. That's why I say alone a day. Gotta get, at least try to touch that and stay focused. Don't lose focus of what got you where you're at.
I think that is absolutely epic in terms of a simple idea, and I think we all forget that. We all forget that what got you to the dance is not going to keep you there unless you keep dancing. And there's too many people that rest on their laurels, and they realize. I mean, I just had a call an hour ago, and the gal said, how do I get back to where I was? That was her question. And I looked at her and I said, "What were you doing when you were at where you were at that you're not doing now?" And she laid out two things that had to do with keeping your boots on the ground and prospecting. And I think that's huge. I think that's just consistency, right?
Consistency, Todd, it is. But as you start to move up, that's the problem, is you start getting away from what got you to where you are. And then all of a sudden you're doing other things, which I'm not saying they're not valuable and they're needed, but you lose focus of where you got. And that was a rude awakening, especially when I called that LO and he told me the same thing.
Same thing. Oh my gosh, right? Wow.
Like, oh man.
Well, I'm fired up that you and I have had the relationship we've had. I'm super excited that we get to spend 45 minutes having this kind of dialogue at Sales Mastery. And if you guys haven't signed up yet and you're watching this, just go ahead and hit the links below and take advantage of this. We've got some real special stuff, and Tom and I are going to be on stage together and have a lot of fun giving you more and more of these kinds of ideas. So, Tom, best wishes over the next several weeks as we head into Sales Mastery. Thanks for being a good friend and for being a leader in the industry.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay.
Bye.